Looks like ownership wants nothing to do with facing this fan base, which means it's rant time. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Seat Radio. My name is Corey. To be totally honest with you, I don't love making videos just bashing ownership. I would rather on this channel talk about predicting moves, talk about examining moves, or predicting outcomes of certain variables and stuff like that. Basically looking at statistics. Plus, on top of that, for the most part, our comment section does a pretty good job at bashing ownership by itself. But once in a while, a topic comes up that I flat out just can't avoid, and I believe that this is one of them. So what we're going to do in today's videos, we're going to break down the latest news surrounding the Red Sox ownership, talk about why I'm upset, why you should be upset, and we're also going to talk about what kind of impact this may have on the off season. But before we get into that, do me a favor. Make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. Helps these videos out a ton, and it would mean a lot to me. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one. Let's get into it. For those of you who may not know exactly what I'm talking about here, last winter weekend, if you either watched on Nesson, watched in person, or if you watched my vlog, which hopefully you all did, there was a segment at the beginning of the ceremonies basically that had Red Sox ownership, Red Sox current CBO Chaim Bloom, Red Sox CEO Sam Kennedy, and Alex Cora placed in front of the crowd where they explained some of the moves and why they made them over the last couple of years, because this was the first winter weekend in a couple of years due to the outbreak. And they also answered some questions. Yes, they were pre-screened questions, so they were a bit of volleyball type questions, but they were questions nonetheless. However, this didn't exactly go as planned for Red Sox ownership, and Red Sox fans' reaction wasn't exactly positive. This year, however, things are going to be a bit different because yesterday it was announced that Red Sox ownership will not be doing this town hall. Basically, they are not going to be getting up on that stage at any point during the opening ceremonies or during winter weekend at all. They're not going to be answering questions even as easy as they were last year. They're not going to be answering to this fan base, and you may be sitting there thinking to yourself, Corbin, why is this really news? It's just a random weekend for families to meet players in the middle of January in Springfield, Massachusetts, but this is really upsetting me, and I think it should be upsetting you too, and let me tell you why. There are a couple of reasons why I genuinely think this should be upsetting to Red Sox fans. The first is that this clearly states that the Red Sox understand exactly how mad the Red Sox fan base is, right? And I don't think there was ever a point where I didn't think Red Sox ownership understood how angry Red Sox fans were, but what this does is basically confirm the fact that they understand how angry Red Sox fans are and either don't care about the fact that this Red Sox fan base is angry, or they don't believe that the Red Sox fans have a right to be angry and don't believe they should be put through what they were put through last year. And to be honest with you, last year was fairly tame. It was mostly just boos, right? They didn't get anything thrown at them. They didn't get stupid things said to them. They didn't get anything really bad. They just got booed on stage. To avoid that this year, in my opinion, the first reason I think you should be upset, and the reason I'm upset right now, is because what this indicates is that they know how upset the Red Sox fan base are, and it shows that they just flat out do not care either about this fan base or they don't respect the Red Sox fan base enough to understand why they are upset. The other reason I really don't like this from a Red Sox fan perspective is because the fans going to winter weekend aren't your casual, hey, I'm hungover, it's Sunday, let me throw the game on and just relax for a couple of hours type fans. These are your die-hard, bleed Red Sox type fans, right? And obviously, a lot of those I bleed Red Sox, I bleed Navy blue, whatever it is, type fans can't make it because of travel or whatever, but you're either there because you are a diehard fan or dragged there by a diehard fan to record a vlog for a YouTube channel like my girlfriend is, and those are the fans that sort of deserve answers, right? Or at least some semblance of understanding from ownership, because there's a lot that's happened between last winter weekend and this winter weekend. You start off with the collapse in 2023. What happened to that? What happened at the trade deadline? Why did you fire Chaim Bloom? Why did you hire hire Craig Breslow? Why was there a self-imposed salary cap on this team in 2023? Why does there appear to be one in 2024? What is going on with the bidding wars that you're getting into that you're just wildly behind? Is that something going on with ownership? Is that something going on with Craig Breslow? And again, these questions were never going to be truthfully answered in front of these fans, but the bare minimum, fans like this deserve the opportunity to ask these questions or at least hear the ownership out a little bit, right? Because if ownership gets up there and they just talk, they just go on and on for a couple of hours, at least you're getting something. At least you're getting some sort of explanation. You may not like the explanation, you may not agree with the explanation, but at least it's out there, and the Red Sox ownership is trying to understand why Red Sox fans are upset. Red Sox fans are trying to find some common ground here, right? They're trying to figure out why these moves have been made. Honestly, a lot of these fans that go to these events, like myself, are trying to find a reason to continue to root for this ownership to do well in Boston, right? And that's a big part of Winter Weekend, and that's a reason why this town hall was so important, because these are the fans that are truly the core of your fan base. Again, these aren't the casual, hey, I got tickets from my boss, I won these at work, let's go get some beers at Fenway Park. These are the, oh my god, I need to be at this game because they're putting Tristan Casas in the 4 spot and he has the opportunity to hit multiple home runs in a single game. Or these are the fans that, hey, I need to take off work because it's opening day, right? These are those type of fans, and those type of fans deserve some sort of at least reaction from ownership, or at the bare minimum, the opportunity to hear their voice heard, even if it is through pre-screened questions, because at least you're getting something from ownership. The fact that they're not up there, to me, especially in front of these fans, is basically a slap in the face. It's also just flat out terrible optics PR-wise. The Red Sox over the last couple of years have been called into question, specifically ownership, as to whether or not they actually still care about winning. This question was even asked point blank in front of this crowd by Jared Carrabis to John Henry, and John Henry's response was to look at his watch, right, which is just as mysterious as everything he's done over the last couple of years. Does this indicate he still cares about winning, or does this indicate that he just doesn't care anymore? Honestly, we don't know. But what we do know is that over the last couple of months, specifically with this offseason, nothing they have done so far, none of the news that has come out, none of the bidding wars that they've got into indicates anywhere close to the idea that the Red Sox are trying to be legitimately competitive in 2024. If they had showed up to Winter Weekend and they've taken questions and they sat in front of this fan base and they said over and over again that we still care about this team, we still care about winning, here's why we made these moves, here's why we're going the direction we're going in, that proves that, hey, even in a small margin, even if you're taking questions and you're going, hey, we want you to ask softball questions, right? We want the lowest of the low. Hey, John Henry, what is your flight plan to Miami? Which airline do you take? Do you have a private jet? That type of questioning, at the bare minimum, showing up at least shows that you care even slightly. Not showing up just simply adds fuel to the fire, adds more to the pile that is piling up pretty high now, that indicates that, hey, ownership might not be as invested in winning as they were over the last couple of years. Honestly, even if they had shown up, not taken any questions, just simply made a little speech about what they're doing and how they're doing it, and even if they sent Sam Kennedy out there with Craig Breslow and Alex Cora, and all three of them spoke, they didn't take questions, the bare minimum, what that's doing is showing fans that, hey, at least they have some semblance of a plan here, and the fact that they aren't doing any of those from a PR perspective, from someone who puts themselves out there on the internet, who tries to market themselves and connect with other fans around the world, from my point of view, is absolutely the worst possible thing they could have done in order to show that they are still caring about this Red Sox team. And on top of that, this is sort of my biggest point here, and something that I really hate more than anything else. What this is doing, what ownership has been doing, is dividing this fan base. There are currently two sides to this fan base right now, and both of them are butting heads with each other. There's the side that I'm on, which is, hey, I'm still going to go to Winter Weekend, and I'm still going to attend baseball games. And the reason for that, not because I'm supporting FSG and ownership, and I think they're doing a good job, but because I want to meet other diehard fans. I want to make a sense of community out of being a Red Sox fan. I want to meet these players. I want to get to know these players from an outside of baseball perspective, and I want to support these players because at the end of the day, these players aren't in charge of how much money they make. They're not in charge of what the budget is, right? What they want to do is win baseball games, and regardless of who's on their team, they're going to try and do that, and those are the people that I want to support because they're giving everything they have to the city of Boston to win a championship, right? Those are the people I want to support, and the reason I'm still going to go to Winter Weekend, and the reason I'm still going to pay to go to baseball games. Yes, it feeds that pocket of John Henry, but it also feeds the pockets of everyone on that diamond, the people who are putting their lives on the line to play Major League Baseball. And I know that sounds a bit of an exaggeration. Lives on the line? Come on, Corbin, really? But they are away from their family for most of the year because they're playing Major League Baseball. They're putting their bodies on the line to win games for this city, and those are the people I want to support. And then there's the other side, which is rightfully so as well, and those are the people that don't want to support this team at all. They're not going to Winter Weekend. They're not buying tickets, right? And both sides think it's the wrong way to go about things. And to me, that's the worst part of all of this because a fan base should be one conglomerate unit that is cheering for one direction. And most times, you're probably going to disagree about the way to get to that direction. But at the end of the day, everyone should be cheering on the Red Sox to win championships. And what ownership is doing by everything they've done this offseason and not showing up to Winter Weekend is dividing that in two. It's dividing it into two sides, and it's making it two separate Red Sox fan bases. And now there's, podcasts, content creators on both sides. It's all over the place, and I absolutely hate that. And this is just making it worse. Overall, I don't know who ultimately made the decision to not put ownership up there. I don't know if it was FSG themselves. I don't know if it was a PR team. I don't know if it was someone else in the ear of someone. I don't know how this ended up being, but what this is a terrible move optic-wise, and it's a terrible look on ownership in an offseason where they have not looked good yet. And I apologize for this rant style video where there's not a ton of overlays, there's not a ton of statistics, not really a ton of actual Red Sox baseball talk. I know some of you guys absolutely hate that, but I think this is a really important thing to talk about, and that's why I'm making this video. So what I want you to do in the comment section down below is let me know what this means to you. Do you care at all that the Red Sox ownership is not showing up to Winter Weekend? Am I completely overreacting? Am I underreacting? What is your opinion on the Red Sox not showing up to Winter Weekend in the comment section down below? As always, if you made it to the end of this video, do me a favor. Make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. Helps these videos out a ton, and it would mean a lot to me. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one, and I will see you in the red seats.